want my children and my grandchildren to know something about their background and about our family history. So I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I'm having Kate taking moving pictures of this interview so that your grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and your relatives can also know something about their family background. What are your earliest recollections of your childhood in Russia? What is the earliest you remember in Russia?
I remember I was a little girl and I used to play with a doll. The doll is made from grass, green grass. We didn't have the money to buy dolls. They didn't have dolls in that time. So in spring, this time, we used to go to the edge and pick up grass and make a bundle, make a head, and make a little hand and play with those dolls. And my brother, Itzkmeyer, we used to make a little house.
No, that wasn't your brother's name was Itzik Meir.
Uh-huh.
You didn't have a brother named Itzik Meir.
My brother, Melech.
Melech.
He was the baby for the boys. And we used to make outside a little house from dirt, lime. Make the little house, fix it all together. Beautiful, a beautiful house. With a roof, with a door, with windows, with everything. From dirt. When the house is ready, Melech used to come in and take the house all and ruin it. So we used to cry all the time. You ruined the house.
All right, Mom, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
3 brothers and 3 sisters.
All right, their names were?
Bobje is the oldest one. Berl is the tweede. Mootje the derde. Melech is the vierde. Jeben the fifte. Jente the sechste.
Okay, now, your Bobje had how many children?
Bobje got 3 twins. 3 times twins.
Three twins?
Three twins, 3 times.
3 sets of twins?
3 sets of twins.
All right, now, do you remember their names of the twins?
No.
Okay, now, Bobje had children.
Yeah.
What were their do you remember any of Bobje's children's names?
Sure.
Itzik Meir, was he one of them?
No. Nachman.
Yeah, and Itzik Meir.
Nuchem.
Yeah.
And Itzkmeyer. And a girl. A girl.
Okay, but Nachum went to Philadelphia.
No.
Nathan went to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Nachman went to Israel.
Nachman went to Israel, and Itzik Meir went to Israel.
Yeah.
All right.
Nachman went to Israel in 19.
Did he go at the same time, Itzik Meir?
No.
He went in 1918?
When I came to this country, Itzik Meir was sitting on the porch. I couldn't remember exactly. I was 5 or 6 years old or 7. I couldn't remember. And he and my sister came in, and my sister says to her, we came to say goodbye from Kippy. We came to Kichon to say my sister goodbye. And she was crying. And says, meine Kinderlach, ihr sind nicht meine Schwester und Brüder, ihr sind meine Kinder. Ich habe gereist, ich bin die älteste Tochter, und ich habe alle gereist.
Okay, in other words, what Mom said, she says, my children, you are not my
sister or brothers.
You're not my sister and brothers, you're my children because I raised you. And coincidentally, right now we have Itzik Meir's family from Israel that's here right now. And Kate, you want to take?
I better get this on
will
film
you
then,
take a
yes.
picture?
All right, yes.
You have Itzik Meir's son, Menachem. You have his cowboy grandson Yuri. You have Susie Michael. You have Ron, and you have Chaya. And they are here to spend Passover with Mom and the family. Okay, that's enough.
Okay, that's enough for you.
Mom,
Let's give her to drink a little bit and now she's...
Mom, tell us something about the house that you lived in. How big the house was.
We had Europe.
In Europe, where you were born.
We got a big house and a big land by the house. The land gave us in Europe. They used to have the big people own all the land from all over the world, the Polacks. They,
In other words, they owned all the land,
all the land.
and they gave, did
And
they,
they gave my grandfather, my Zayde, they gave my Zayde a big home in 5 acres land.
why?
But he was the manager of his business. He was the manager.
What business was that?
The land.
Oh, I see. In other words, he was the head man of all the land, so
Oh.
they gave him the house,
Yeah, he gave my
a one-story house.
a
Now-
story house in land, 5 acres land.
Okay, now
And he could not sell that land. He had to own that land.
he has to live.
But in his time, they killed out all those big people.
Oh, I see.
Bolsheviks.
In other words,
Killed out the Polyakin.
just a
So
minute.
we can sell the house.
Just a
So
minute.
we sold it.
Oh, I see.
When we came to this country, we sold
All
the
right,
house.
we're going too fast. I want to go slower.
Yeah.
This house that you lived in,
Yeah.
I think I remember you told me that the floors were dirt floors. Is
Yes,
that right? There
yes,
were dirt
yes,
floors in
yes.
there.
And we used to make yellow lime and painted.
And painted
And
you.
put sand, put red sand on that. That's
I
we used to
see.
work like that.
All right, and what did your father do? Your father?
My father, we got a little grocery store.
Right.
And the people used to come to buy it from us.
All right, now, how many, in this town that you lived in, how big was the town? How many people
Oh,
lived
it's
there?
about 300 population.
Okay, out of that 300 people,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many were Jewish and how many were not Jewish?
Jewish was only 4 Jewish families.
4 Jewish families.
That's all.
They weren't related?
No.
Okay.
We did business with the
All right,
guys.
how did you get along with the non-Jewish people?
Very good. When we came to this country,
No, don't go there yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that fast.
Yeah.
While you were growing up, how did you get along with the people?
very good. They was very good with us.
Okay.
They liked Jewish people. They used to come Sunday to my on the porch and to break the paper, the World Herald,
Well, it wasn't the World Herald, but it was the Russian paper.
Russian paper. Izvestia. And I have to eat for them all the news.
Well, where did you
because they
learn?
could- they
Just a
could
minute.
read.
Where did you learn to read? You.
School.
How did you go to school? I thought you once told me. Just a minute, Mom. I thought you once told me that
Wait a
Jewish
minute.
kids couldn't go to school.
That time, the government don't let the Jewish people go to school. But we did business with the Pope,
You mean it wasn't the Pope? It was the head priest.
a priest. We did business with the priest. And so Mama, and we used to deal with the priest. So Mama told, and she, the priest's wife, is a very charitable woman. She used to be crazy for Jewish people. When it's come a holiday, she takes chickens and ducks and all kind of groceries from the garden and take to the town, to the Jewish town, give also for the Jewish people. She was a very charitable woman and she liked Jewish people.
All right. Now, Mom, tell me this. Oh yeah, go ahead. So what happened then?
Huh?
So what happened? So how did, you still have to tell us how you got to go to school?
Oh, so Mama asked that the preacher's wife, but I got a little girl, and my mother believes in education. So she says, I would like my little girl should go to public school. And she said, the woman, Bob's wife, says, wait a minute. Sunday in school, after services, I'll announce what we got. Madame called this little girl, and she wants to go to school. If you'll be so good and allow them to come to school. So they said, well, with big pleasure. With big pleasure. After services, we said, Sunday, I'll go announce in school what we see what we can do. So after services, she sent the the maid to my house, and he says, tell Madame Golden, Gloria is her name, what I said in Greek.
That was your mother's name.
Yeah. But the girl will go tomorrow to school. And I went.
And that's where you learned how to read.
So I went to school. In 6 days, I could read. So the teacher said, you see, you go so long to school and you don't know nothing. And that little girl could read already.
All right. Okay. Then tell me this, Mom. How old were you? Now, I'm not trying to find out how old you are. No, I don't want to ask that. I don't want to ask that.
God bless you with
I know.
years.
How old were you when you first started having trouble with the Bolsheviks? That's what I want to know. See, what I'm trying to figure out is how long between, we'll say, age 1 and 16, age 1 and 17, was life actually pretty normal until the pogroms came. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I live a normal life until.
Was it before you were engaged? Before you were.
I have to remember.
Now you've got to remember you were engaged in 1913.
1914.
1914.
And the pogrom and the Bolsheviks came out in 1918.
Was it 18 or was it before?
In 1918.
Okay, now just a minute.
I was married already.
Oh, I see. All right, that's fine. So until.
Wait. Yeah, I was married.
Well, it could.
Because I was married in 1914.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what I want to know is
So listen. So when the Bolsheviks came in.
No, I don't want to get there yet. I don't want to go to the Bolsheviks yet. In other words, what I'm trying to point out is that until the time that she got married, which was approximately, we'll say 20 years old, because Mom won't tell us how old she is. So from 1 to 20, they led a normal life in Russia. Now, if after you were married, Mom, if things were like they were before you were married, you probably wouldn't have come to the United States, would you?
After it was so bad.
Yeah, now.
After 80. What the
Bolsheviks. Were they Bolsheviks?
No.
Well, tell me, who would...
Not the Russian, not the
The
Jewish
Polish?
people,
The communists?
no.
Oh, no.
What was your-
Germans?
No. It's either the Russians or the Polacks or the
Gentile people.
The who?
The Gentile
Gentile?
people,
Well,
not children.
Not just a
Wait a
minute.
minute.
You said,
That's in that time,
no, just 1 second now.
Yeah.
The Gentile people, the Russians, in other words, it's actually the Russians, because they're
They loved us.
Who did?
The Russian people.
Yeah, but it's the
we
Bolsheviks that
lived-
did.
We lived at that time. But when the Bolsheviks came in, they were so bad. When they come in to hurt and kill her.
Okay, now, before you go into that, what I'm trying to say, if things would have been like before the Bolsheviks came, you'd have probably stayed in Russia.
Oh, sure.
And we'd have stayed in Russia because your life in Russia was
Oh,
good.
sure. They
All
like
right.
us, and we like them.
Okay, now, did you have any social, I'm talking about before you were married.
Yeah.
Did you have any social activities like dances or parties?
We didn't go to the parties to each other, but we lived very, very good together. And I suppose I go with the Gentile boys come into our house. We play cards. My mother sits there, my father sits there, and we play cards together. But they knew I couldn't marry them, and they knew they couldn't marry me. But we are friends, very friends.
Okay. Now, your brother Melech went to the United States in about 19 when? You came over in 1921. What did he go, 3-4 years
And
before?
he probably went to America in 1905.
Oh, all right. Now, did he ever come back to Russia again?
No, never.
All right. Now, you had another brother by the name of Beryl.
Bill.
Now, he went back To
Yeah.
the United, he came to the United States.
Yeah, he came to the
Now,
United
how long
States.
did he stay at the United
2.5 years.
States? And then why did he come back?
Well, because he got a girlfriend,
I
a
see.
fiancée. He was engaged to her. Wait a minute. It's a good story. When he was engaged, he got from those business what we do in town, he couldn't make a living. So you have to go to America to make money and to come home. Here when he went to America, the whole town was the fire because he left, he broke his engagement. He broke his engagement.
Well, I mean, notice the people in town were upset because when he left, he broke his engagement.
So he came over the border and he called up to us. We should give a telegram to America, and my relatives should send him a ticket to go to America. So my father, when he went, he didn't tell us what he go away. He rode away from the house because he knew my mother wouldn't let him go. So my father says, if you give me the aunt, if you give me
Your hands.
the hand, well, she'll come back.
Then I'll let you go.
Then I'll go to America. So he's waiting over the border, and he gave a telegram. Yeah, he said, I give you my hand. He wasn't there. He wasn't.
Yeah,
But through the.
Through the phone.
He gave you my hand. I'll come back. So, and he was there 2.5 years. And it was very, very bad in this country. He came in. He was black as my shoes. He moved so hard. No wood, nothing. So he came back in 2.5 years time, and we made a wedding. We got married. So he never went back because the father-in-law and the mother-in-law don't let him go back. He thought he would go back, but they don't let him.
You mean go back to the United States, but they wouldn't let him go.
So he could.
Okay. Do you know anything about your grandparents?
No.
Your mother and father never told you, never,
No, he doesn't know.
nothing that you could.
No.
So then you don't know anything about your
No,
great-grandparents
no,
too.
no. I never knew him. She used to cry when it's a yurtsa for them, but I never knew him.
All right. When and how did you meet my father, your husband? How did you meet him?
I used to go every 2 weeks.
Mom, let's just wait a minute now, because I want you to stop and drink some water. Why don't you shut that off for a minute, Kate? Why don't you take a drink of water? Give me your key. So how you met my dad.
I used to go in Europe. They used to have every 2 weeks a marketing in town. I lived Atskot, and he lived in town. So every 2 weeks, is in the marketing, I used to go help him out in the store.
Help who out?
Huh?
Help who?
To sell.
Now, who did you used to help?
My brother.
Oh, your brother Beryl.
Bill. So I used to go every 2 weeks in town, and I knew all the people in town. I knew all the people in town. So they knew me. And the matchmaker came in, and I could get married when I was 14 years old. Why? Because I got a diary.
A dowry.
Dowry. And a girl, when she didn't have the dowry, she could sit 40 years, she wouldn't get married. But I got a dowry when I was 14. So everybody used to come, tear it to pieces, my folks. I should get engaged. But I didn't want to get engaged because I got the best good time in the whole world. I think no girl in the world got that kind of good time what I had. So I didn't want to get married. So I didn't want to get engaged. So when my husband came from services, there's a time with people looking for a girl for them. So when he came from the services, he was 21 years old. He got mustache, which I don't like it. And the man came in, and right away went to my husband's father, what Bill's Schwester to do. shidduch.
Yeah,
And my father-in-law, he got a very big name in town. In
Oh, your father-in-law was Kiva
Kiwi,
Kirshenbaum.
by the way.
What are you looking for? Well, what do you look for? His picture?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, yeah. My father-in-law,
Show that to Kate.
my father-in-law, and my father is just like two brothers, like one.
Oh, I can't
This
see
is
what I'm
Kiwi.
looking through here.
This is Kiwi,
Okay, Mom, sit
Kiwi.
down.
And he had a very, very high, like suppose here, the society people. Why? Because he's very, very educated Jewish.
You look at Kate, Mom, don't look at me. Oh, in other words, what it was in the small towns, if a man was a learned man, that was probably the most important thing that a person could be. And evidently he was very religious and knowledge of the Torah and the Talmud and everything. Now, what is this picture?
This is my brother.
All right, before you show us that picture, so finish that first, what you were starting to say. You started to say that they went to your father-in-law and
Yeah.
said,
And the Kiwi, called the Sveigel. Oh, that's at the top of the world.
oh, in other words, your father-in-law says, if it's Goldie's daughter, that's wonderful.
Good.
Okay.
So they made a shidduch.
So, did you know? Did you know anything about it? I mean, did they tell you were going to get married?
No. They took me out,
Who took you out?
Maya.
Yeah.
That was later on.
Oh, and then the family got together.
Yeah.
You told me this story, and I think it's very interesting. I want you to repeat it.
And then Abe, the younger brother, my husband's,
Which
he was the baby.
Which is little Joe's father.
Yeah, and he was only 19, a young fellow. And he fell in love with my sister.
All right, now just a minute. When the two families got together to make the shidduch,
Yeah.
I want you to tell the story about his family and your family when they came down there, and you were going to make the shidduch, and your my dad's family said that your family said there was going to be so much money in the dowry, and when they counted it, there wasn't that much money. That's what I want you to tell.
My sister, my husband's sister, she got a husband. And the husband was in America. He came from America and he married my husband's sister. And I didn't like him. I just don't like him. So we sit at the table, he took out the money and put it at the table, and he took the money, he counted, and he just got $400. He says, no, it couldn't be a shidduch. It's got to be 5. So Maya was sitting there, and here's the table.
Don't get
He
up.
stand up, and he reached the money, and he says, sluk,
Make a shidduch.
make a shidduch.
In other words, Kate, what they had to do, when they made a shidduch in the old country,
They take
they take a plate and they throw it on the floor, and that means that
bricks.
it breaks, and that means that they're engaged. So what my dad did, he says, his brother-in-law says, you're supposed to give him $500. You only gave him $400. I don't think it was the $400 in our kind of money, but in Russian money. He says there's no marriage. My dad says he took the money, says it's a deal. He took the plate and he broke it, and they became engaged.
So my sister, the younger sister, my sister, and my husband's brother, they were both young.
And they fell in love.
So they fall in love so bad, but he said he's going to drown himself if he would marry her. And I don't want you should marry her, because I was superstitious, because I don't want 2 brothers or 2 sisters. So I don't want they should get married. So when it was my engagement, and the rabbi, Tan, was a good brother with my father-in-law. So he was by my engagement. So my father-in-law took him out outside and he told him the story, what my sister and his brother-in-law, and they want to get married, and we have to go to leave the country to go to America. So they came right in the house, and they took the big Bible, I don't know what you call it. They took the big Bible and they looked over. Al Pidin, Afshiach Nefesh, Al Pidin, a Nefesh, Tzarotor a Nefesh. It's a war, and we got to run away to live because they would kill us. So the Shulchan says they could be rich.
In other words, the rabbi looked in some kind of a book that they had, whether it was I don't know if it was a
Like
Chumash,
Encyclopedia, it's a big book.
and they said that under these circumstances that it was all right for two brothers to marry two sisters.
So
Well, at any rate, when did you didn't get married right away?
no.
Your husband went into the army and
Yeah.
went to Siberia
Yeah.
and was in the army for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Then he came back, and that's when you got married.
Yeah.
And that's when the trouble started with the Bolsheviks.
Oh, sure.
All right, will you tell them the story? You said that one day the Bolsheviks would come into town and chase, the people would go out, but you stayed and you sold the Bolsheviks. Before I get that, your husband had a granary, is that right? A farm, he sold grain,
Yeah.
so that the Russians would buy it from him.
Yeah.
And when the Bolsheviks came in, the Bolsheviks would buy it from him.
Yeah.
And the people liked you so that none of them hurt you, is that right?
Yeah.
But did they steal anything from you?
No, they don't steal. You want me to attack by the clothes?
Yes.
By clothes. When the Bolsheviks came in, they just want to kill people and rob everything. Take it back from you, give him. But after that,
Was it just the Jewish people they were doing this to, or is that to
No.
anybody? Anybody that wasn't a Bolshevik?
The Bolsheviks, Jewish people came in.
Oh,
300 ones.
some Bolsheviks were Jewish people too.
300. They were the first ones that came in town. 300 boys. They came in John. They make a pogrom. They killed out 250 people in 1 hour.
Now, just a minute, Mom. You mean that some of the Bolsheviks were Jewish people,
Sure.
and they would kill either Jewish people
They
or...
came from Odessa,
Oh, I
in
see.
Kiev. They are bad. The poorest people. They became Bolsheviks. The poorest. So they came in, they robbed everybody.
All
And
right.
they kicked the town.
And they came to your
they
town.
And next door was a store, but my brother. They came in and opened the door, and right away they killed that owner in the store. But then he got well.
That wasn't
I
there.
don't know how he ran away or something. So they came to Artan. I went Atskot, and they want to kill the Jewish people. So I started to talk to them. And they says to me, Abe was a young fellow.
That's Joe's father.
And he came and he says, he always come in the house, he talk with him all the time. He talk with them and says, Sadis, that's about a table, and he always got sour cream with smetana and tea and everything else, and give him to eat, and they were good brothers with us.
In other words, you would feed him.
Yeah, oh sure. We always feed them. We always kept it the house for them when the band come in. Then, when the Nikivtsis came in, they came on purpose to kill every Jew in town.
Now the who?
The Nikivtsis.
Now what is that?
Apart that, just as was that like
Like the Bolsheviks.
after the Bolsheviks. The Nikivtsis, they said the last one. And they came to my house, and
Now they weren't Jewish.
no. And they want to kill us. So Abe says, come in the house. We give everything, eggs, tea, smatted cheese, whatever it is. My aunt's too. My aunt's in the boat.
my father wasn't there?
He was a weggelaufen to the priest.
Oh, he went to the priest.
And the priest was leaving not where I heard. The priest right away came in the house, shake hands with the Nikolaites, and he says in Russian to them, don't bother those people, the Greece, because they are the nicest people in town, and they are not for any party you come in. They was right with any party.
Oh, I see.
They are not better with the Bolsheviks. They are not better with the.
In other words,
Nikolaites.
he said you were neutral, and
No,
so they wouldn't bother you.
So.
All right. In other words, Mom, Dad went to the priest's
To the
house to get
priest,
the priest and
yeah,
rum brought the
and
people.
then they hide him.
I see.
They hide him by Goy, by
By a non-Jew.
The house, non-Jew. And I didn't know if he was alive
Alive
there
or
or
dead.
nothing. So when the priest came in, he says to the people,
Yeah, the bandits.
and he says to Abe and to me, he says, when somebody come and knock on the door and they want to come in, tell them this and this general stays in my house. He didn't stay in my house.
But he said to tell them
He
that you're
said-
staying there, that the general's staying in your house.
You see. So don't open the door. Tell them this and the general stay in your house. And that's how we got saved. So the next day, we took, Maya says he don't want to go in town. Yeah, at School City. You're going to stay here because you have to do business with them. He says, you don't want to go? Stay. I go. So I went in town and I hired a little apartment up there and I was there. And Maya still do business with them. Later on, we find out what is no more. So he came in up there, that the Nikolaites went away to a different town. And Abe went to Warsaw to make papers to go to
Oh, he went to Warsaw to get
Warsaw.
and then he got papers, and then you all went to Warsaw.
And we all went to
All right,
Warsaw. We
now-
stayed 3 months to
Now,
Warsaw.
before you did that, where did you get the money to go to this
We
country?
got the money.
To go to Warsaw?
Oh, sure.
How about to go from Warsaw?
And when we came to Warsaw, the value from the money,
It was nothing.
every day down. So we are left over with that money.
In other words, you sold what you had, and you
Oh,
got
sure.
money,
We
and
sold
when
the
you went to
house.
Warsaw,
Oh, sure. We sold everything. We sold
Mom, that's samovar that you brought
Oh,
here.
yeah.
How
I
did
got
you-
4. I got 4. Because they give it the present.
Yeah, but you did bring one to the United
I
States.
brought, why I brought it to the United States? Because it was white, silver and that. And the other 3 we sold it.
Oh, I see. Well, how did you carry that one here?
We got the big pillows.
Oh,
So
I
I put
see.
it in the pillow and tie it up. We brought pillows up here.
Well, I have the samovar in Palm Springs
Yeah.
that you had.
Joe, do you have a question there about the time they took all Bubbie's wedding clothes?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Now,
And she brought also candle holder. She have it here so you can.
when
Oh, she
you,
brought a
when
candle
you,
holder?
you told me that one time, either the Bolsheviks or the Ganitsin, whatever the name, came in and took all of Daddy's clothes that he got married in.
That's before.
This is from Russia. You bought.
I brought to Europe.
Ah, from Europe.
I'll get it.
Yeah, that's silver. In top.
No, I just wanted,
Was
No.
it from Russia or not? She told me that yes.
No, did you bring this from Europe, Mom?
did you bring this from Europe? From Russia? You brought this from Russia, this candelabra. Well, I guess Phyllis will get it, right?
She'll get the one is Jewish.
The one that's most Jewish?
What he keeps kosher. So she has to find. The reason it belongs to Phyllis, because a candle belongs to a lady. It not belong to
I
herself.
want to tell you
That's true.
something, you're very smart, you know what to say at the right time. No, so now tell Kate about the clothes
Oh, so
that they
the
took.
Polish came in, and in Europe, when you make clothes for the wedding, for her or for him, it's forever. So a tailor came in from Warsaw, and husband's clothes, he made everything like in America. The style. A coat with a violet collar, everything like in America. So we kept that clothes in a big suitcase and got buried in the stable where the cow. You got your cows in the stable. So who knew what there is a, so we lifted out a cape and then and put the suitcase up there. And everything was already out. It was quiet. He took out the suitcase. He just took out yesterday the suitcase. The Polak came in. The Polak came in, and the Polacks, the general is in Kibble. The third house of my brother. He chased out the people, and they took a big home, and they would live up there. So when he sent in his men, asked Kyrgyzstan, they should do whatever they want. So they came into my house and they found the suitcase and they took my suitcase. And a neighbor, he was in the Navy, very fine fellow, a neighbor of us, a very fine fellow. He just came from the Navy and he got a suitcase. They took his suitcase too.
All with the clothes and everything.
Then when he took the suitcase, I got so hysterical. That's forever. The clothes is made forever. And it's no stores anymore, no goods anymore. You could make another one, you could buy another one. So I walked, like from here to Country Bluffs. I walked. They went with this way, and I went to the short way, So I came in right with them. I came in, they came in a little late earlier, and I came in a little, maybe 5 minutes later. So I came in, and I got nice hair, 2 nice braids, look young, talk Polish better than they talk. And I came in, and my brother don't know why I came in there. And even knew, it's terrible. And I said, Dzień dobry, shake hands with him, and give him the title.
With who?
Came to him,
Who's
in
that?
Polish.
The general?
The general. I you know how you give the general some in Polish. I gave it in Polish. He said, shake hands with him, and he says, what can I do for you? In Polish. And I says, I know you educate people, you're ITON people, you don't send people to rob people. You send people, they should talk to people. And but they came to my house and they took away my husband's clothes. And he says to me, how do you know it's your clothes? I says, well, here is my clothes of that pile. A pile of clothes like this. And they just came in, they just took out the clothes. And can't you recognize your clothes? Before I tell you my clothes, is in the coat, in the black coat, is in pocket, up here, a little note. And that note is all the names when they got married and invited people to the wedding. If you were to find that note up there, that is not my clothes. They said, this is my clothes, this is mine, 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 this is mine. All over. And then look in the pocket if you find the clothes. You open the pocket and it's there the note with all those people that I invite for the wedding. He gave me all the clothes. Then the sailor, he's dressed like a sailor. And he says, what do you want? He says, they took my suitcase too. He said, you just go out. If you wouldn't go out, you'll go out without a head. Poor little thing, he went home without nothing. His clothes was left over. I came to my brother with the clothes. He didn't want to take me in. He didn't want to let me in the house. He said they would kill me. They would find out that I got that clothes, they would kill me. I said, don't worry, they wouldn't kill you. So that sailor took my clothes and he went home and he got nothing.
But you got your clothes.
Oh yeah, I got my clothes, he gave it to me. I talked to him Polish, but the reason, but he gave me the clothes, I understand. He thought I was a Polak, because I was talking to him Polish.
How did you learn to speak Polish? Did you learn
Oh,
that
I
in
knew
school?
it.
She's pretty smart, kid.
Really?
I don't know now,
Yeah.
but when somebody talk, I understand.
I forgot two important things. You had two children in Russia. You gave birth to two children in Russia.
Sure, and a year, 1 year.
In 1 year. Now, I'm not going to ask you when they were born, because I don't want to give away my age either. Your first child was Rose, was a daughter.
Yeah,
Then you had
yesterday.
Then you had a son. Now, you told me that when I was born, that my father, that there was a pogrom going on at the time that I was born, and that my father had to walk in the snow to bring a midwife back so that he could assist in the delivery.
Yeah, he brought her on his neck.
She sat on his shoulders because there was so much snow.
There's a snow, she couldn't walk.
And
And
when I was born, you said they told you to hide me because I was so long.
Yeah, my sister, my little sister, she said, "Oi, don't talk to nobody. They would give you I don't know,
I know.
I don't know what I tell you. We got a single bed, and they put him in the bed. The head is here and the feet are here.
I think it's probably a little exaggerated. But she also told me at the time I was born, there was 8 or 10 people in the house, and they had to put up a...
8 or 10, but 100.
Well, maybe not 100.
They run away. That has to be a pogrom in town, and we live outside a little bit.
So everybody ran into
So
that.
everybody, the house was like this. And here, I actually have give birth to a baby. When I give birth to a baby with so many people in the house. So the next day, from town they brought a nurse, and she looked over me, and everything was all right.
All right, now, Lynn, you stayed in Warsaw for 3 months.
Yeah.
And you lived then, but you said your money was practically worthless, so your two brother-in-laws in Omaha sent you money.
The captain.
Okay, so on the boat, how long did it take you to come over on the boat?
14 days.
14
Samlin,
days.
Samlin.
So how was it did you get enough food on the boat? Or
Oh yeah, plenty.
how were the living conditions on the boat?
Wonderful. Very good.
You had your own private cabin?
Yeah, we got a cabinet and everything. Yes.
No, you had your own cabin, your own room?
Oh, no.
You probably all slept like in one big room, didn't you?
We slept all together probably.
Yeah.
But we sailed 14 days in Summit.
All right, now, did you go to Ellis Island first?
Yeah.
And then you went to Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
and you visited with relatives there?
Our boat came into Philadelphia.
And then to Ellis Island?
No. We came to Philadelphia and then to Ellis Island.
Now,
Joe, did you make clear who came all over together?
I'm coming
I'm sorry,
to
in
that.
the,
It's right here. On the
Okay.
boat, now, there was Avram in Yanta,
Yeah.
which is my dad's brother
Yeah.
and your sister.
Yeah.
There was you and my dad
Yeah.
and Rose, myself, and Zeta Kita,
Yeah.
who was my father's father.
Yeah. And my sister was sick, seasick. Everyone was seasick. And I by myself, not sick. And my sister was so sick, what he thought she'd die, and they put her, that time, when somebody got to America, and somebody died in the ship, they put him in the ocean. They don't bring him. But now, it's different. Now when somebody dies, they bring him.
All right.
So she says if she could have a black piece of bread, then she could live. Otherwise she could eat nothing. So I used to walk to the nose, to the ship, and talk to the captain every single day. And I couldn't talk English, nothing. And every single day he gave me a piece of black bread. She should have all the day. And for 14 days, I used to go every single day to the end of the ship and take a piece of bread to my sister. And that's how your brother alive to America.
Bubby, when you wanted to
She
leave,
was sick, seasick, and she couldn't eat nothing.
were you permitted to leave without any problem, or did you have to like sneak out?
Oh, when you got your visa,
Yeah,
no, from Russia to Poland,
yeah.
how were you able to get out? Did they let you go?
No. In the night time, we took a horse wagon, and we all went in one wagon to the border. And up there was my husband's sister lived at that little town. But you have to go first to a border, come to the town. So we went, and the guard stopped us. Where are you going? And we said, well, they should let us. They could stop us. He says, we got an old father, and he was very sick. And we didn't know a doctor in
In your town?
the town. And they said, a doctor in that city, Brizerke, is a big doctor, and he could help him. So we all go with him to the doctor. That's how he let us through.
And he let you through?
Yeah, he let us through. So we came to up there, and we stayed up there, but 2 or 3 weeks in that little town. And for that time, we went to Russia.
Now, your two brother-in-laws who are in Omaha loaned you the money for the trip to
Yeah.
this country?
So we came in, and we left over $250.
Where? Oh, you mean when
We
you
brought
came
in.
back here?
We brought in. So we came here, we gave Joe $100 and Max $100.
No, you repaid the money.
And we left ourselves 15. So I went to the store and bought a nickel plates, and I bought groceries, and I bought meat, and I bought something to eat for the $15.
Where did, Mom, when you came here, where did you live?
And
Is that when you lived at Kreiselman's
It's
or,
one-
or Edelstein?
no, North, in North Street.
At Mrs. Edelstein's house?
Yeah,
How did you get the room there?
to live.
Yeah, who got you the room? Do you remember? Well, it's really not important. But I remember this house. These people, we lived on the second floor of this house on about,
And I paid $30 rent, 30. So the lady in the house says to me, did you look in the little kids? In American style, when you finish the morning and you didn't give the $30, they take you out outside with your belongings and you'll be in the street. I says, I like to be in the street. I like fresh air, so we'll be in the street. So when the warranty was ended, and we have to go another month, my husband took the $30, and because he right away went to work, and he gave her the rent. So he says to my husband, I wouldn't take the rent. You take the rent and buy whatever you want, and you could pay me $1 a day, or $1 a month. I don't want the rent. And my husband said, no, you take the rent. That lady, afterwards, if she could take the sky, the sun, and put it on the ground, she would do it for us. Because we came in innocent kids, everybody's young, everybody's honest. So my husband went to look for a job, Peckners. Because that time, we go to Peckners, people, hundreds of people stayed alive looking for a job. And they couldn't find it. So my husband went up there too. He came with no work. A lady with the Kulakoskis, with the Kalis, they were their society people, was living next door, and she met us. And she says to my husband, wait a minute, here is a piece of paper. When you come to the Peckners tomorrow, don't stay lying. Go right to the door, you want to see so-and-so. But don't stay lying. So he got a piece of paper, and he went right to the door, and he couldn't talk, and he gave that man the piece of paper, and the man looked at that piece of paper and says, go home, come tomorrow to work. So he went tomorrow to work. So when he went to work, it exactly came out in a Saturday, but he had to go to work. So he went to work. When he came from work, he says he want to eat. So I got something for him cold to eat. He says, no, I want a hot, something hot. He never moved in his life. He never moved in his life, so he's tired. And my father-in-law says to him, look, you went to work because you got to support your family, your wife, you got to pay rent. But when you came from work, forget about it. That's Shabbos. Don't do nothing. And he didn't eat. He ate at the evening. Because I couldn't call in nobody to warm up. I don't know if he got people up here, but I could call somebody. I couldn't call Jewish people. I have to call a Gentile.
See, in other words, Kate, on Friday night, the religious Jews never turned on any lights, never put coal in the furnace. They used to have somebody come do it,
Oh,
and he
sure.
was referred to as a Shabbos guy. He
Turn
would
on the light.
He would turn on the light,
turn on
and
the
he'd
light.
put coal in your furnace, and Saturday morning he'd also come in and do the same thing. After we lived in the Edelstein's house on the second floor for a while, then we moved in with some people named Kreiselman.
How old were you at this time?
Oh, I could have been maybe 3 years old.
So when you came here to the United States, you were how old, Joe?
I was
By the
about-
shield, by the shield.
I'm coming there. I was about a year old, a little over a year old. Then we moved next door to the synagogue on 25th and Seward, where we lived until 1933. Now, Mom, after you came here, your family in Russia, your mother was there, your
My sister.
your sister, your brother was there. All right, now you had told me when did Beryl die?
Bill didn't die. The Bolsheviks killed him.
Oh, when was this?
Hitler killed him.
Okay, now just a minute. Now, when did Bubsa die?
The same time.
Okay, now I thought you told me a story once when the Bolsheviks came and you and Yanta were hiding in the forest and somebody came in and killed somebody in the family.
We were sitting, we were there in our home,
Yeah.
in our home. And a Gentile neighbor was close to us. And we were very good neighbors all the time. So it was a big stealer in town. And we knew that stealer,
What do you mean, a thief?
a thief. And he used to go, he didn't kill nobody, but he used to come in the where the cows
The barn.
in the barn and take out the cow and sell for $5. That's all he did all the time. And the town knew what he does it. So he used to come in to next door to my neighbor. And this neighbor was very good with us. So one time he came in to our window and he went in the garage, in the stable,
Barn.
and he saw the 2 cows. And he says, poor little kids, no, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't do it. And he came to the window, and I was sitting by the machine and saw something. And my sister and my parents sleeping up there in the bedroom. And he looked at the window, and he was afraid to come in because he'd be scared. So he sent in the friend. He said, you go in the house. And he came in the house, and he was sitting with us at the house. He was sitting and talking. He says, don't be afraid of me. I wouldn't bother you. And we were safe. He didn't bother us. Because the neighbor was so good with us, and that stealer used to come into him because they were friends.
I thought you told me though that you were hiding in the woods when someone during a pogrom.
My sister,
Yeah.
my sister.
Yanta was hiding in the woods?
Yeah, in the woods. And then when she come out, there's a man, a Jewish man, took her into his house.
I see.
And then that man kept her. And he says the Bolsheviks came in to his house, but he wanted to see if he got somebody. He says, this is my sister sleeping there, but she don't feel good, so you don't let her in. That's why she was safe.
All right.
And that man came to this country. He was a keeper. He was an Omaha.
All right, you're the family that lived in Russia, which is Itzik Meir, Nuchem, and then Beryl and Bobs and them. How did they live while you were here? I remember remember you used to take pictures and cut the pictures in the middle, in the back, and send money in there. And send
Because the government takes over the mail, and they were afraid maybe they would said something secret. So they opened the mail and they would take away the money. So we used to send letters and to put the money in the
pictures.
picture of that.
No, I can remember that. I can remember as a youngster that they would send a photograph, and they would slice the photograph and put a $5 bill in. And I remember that $5 was like maybe $500 today. 'Cause
My sister was sick, and Abe used to have to buy medicine all the time.
That's little Joe's mother.
Yeah, so and we have to send home to his family and to my family. So
I mean in Europe.
in Europe. So and we live next door with my brother. So I used to steal money from my husband, and every day I used to go and put 50 cents, a dollar, a quarter, 10 cents, a nickel in our dresser. And when it's come to time every month, but he has to send money. So I go out there and take the money, and I says to my husband, Abe give me $5. And I give $5. And we used to send the money home to give everyone to his family and to my family. And that's what we did. And my mother lived with my sister. So I have to send her. You have to send my sister. You have to send my brother. And that's how we lived until the Hitler came in. We used to send away all the time. All the time we used to send to Europe money.
All right, now let's take it on. The family that was left in Russia,
Yeah.
the last time, when was the last time you got a letter that you heard from him? Do you remember?
When Hitler kicked out everybody, we couldn't write
Oh,
anymore.
in other words, before Hitler came into Russia,
Yeah.
you used to be able to.
Oh, sure, we write.
And then in 1940, when did Hitler invade Russia? 1942?
41 or 42.
Yeah, and after he invaded Russia, you didn't hear
No,
anything.
no.
But meanwhile, before that, Nuchem came to Philadelphia, and Itzik Meir came to Israel.
Yeah.
Went to Israel.
Yeah. He went to Israel, Itzchak went to,
All right, now was there another brother that went to Israel with Itzik Meir?
which one? No. Itzchak himself in Israel.
Okay, you said you had, your brothers were Beryl,
Yeah,
Nuchem,
Yeah.
and Itzik Meir?
And Nachman.
yeah.
Oh, where was Nachman?
Nachman is in Israel. He came before.
Okay, in other words, Nachman is Itzik Meir's brother,
Yeah.
and he went to Israel first, then Itzik Meir
Yeah,
went to
Itzchak
Israel.
a young fella, he came
All
to
right.
Israel.
Mom, when you came to this country, you also had a daughter that was born shortly after you were here by the name of Bela.
Yeah,
Can you tell me about Bela?
but Bela,
Yeah.
well, he got an accident, a big accident. It's a big story and an Irish story.
Foolish story.
Jente was sick the day when she came to this country. And when she had mortally, nobody in the world thought he would live. How many sicknesses in the world what kids had, he had it.
In other words, she's talking about
Max.
Joe's brother Max, who was born, he was very sickly.
So she's always sick, and I used to take care of her children. And here I got my children. So Friday, I made Shabbos, everything ready, and I boiled a kettle tea. You know,
Big kettle of tea.
Tea.
Hot water.
and I had water, and I put on the tea on the floor, and I had Mortale on my end. Mortale is a little baby, and I had Mortale on the bed. So instead, and Bailey, my little girl is 2 years old, she came in and she put on a fissile or a leg in the china. Take her, Mortale, put on the floor, and take her out. So I got the baby here and I pull out the I called right away the doctor, and the doctor neglected her. He should have put in something, the heat should come out. So he bent it out, and the kids got
Gangrene.
gangrene.
Oh.
In 2 days she died.
All right. And now, didn't Grandpa Zeta Kiva die almost about the same time?
4 weeks after.
Okay, now, you told me that Grandfather Kiva was so religious that he wouldn't eat because he thought
Yeah, he went on a diet, yeah.
nothing was kosher enough
Yeah.
for him.
He went on a diet and he died. He was young. He was only 72 years old.
All right, and then your other children besides Rose and Joe are Kiwi and Phyllis. Rose was married to Sam Becker,
Yeah,
who was killed in an auto accident
Accident,
11 years ago.
yeah.
And Rose has 2 daughters. One was named Judy and one is named Linda.
Linda.
And Linda has a child named Scott, and Judy has a child named Scott, and Linda also has a child. I don't know Linda's baby's name.
Sam.
Sam?
Yeah.
Sam, sure, after Sam Becker. Now, Joe has Tom, who is married to Kate. They have 2 boys named Matt and Adam. Bill is married to Linda, and they have a son named Bradley. Dick is single, as is his daughter,
His sister.
as is his sister, Kim. Oh, boy. Now, Kiwi is married to Myrna, and he has Kathy and Jim, Jim has 2 children. Now, do you know Jimmy's 2 children's name?
Andrew and Sarah.
Andrew and Sarah, that's right, or Jimmy's kid's name. Now, Phyllis is married to Paul Rifkin, and they have 4 boys. Bob is married to who?
Debbie.
Debbie. Bill is married to Susan, and they have a boy named Brian. Eddie is single, and Donnie just got engaged to a girl from Pittsburgh. Now, one thing I'd like to know is about your social life in Omaha when you came to Omaha. What did you do for entertainment when you...
I didn't have time to go into things.
Okay.
I raised 8 children.
Okay, did you ever go to a restaurant for dinner?
Never in my life. I never eat at the restaurant. Never.
Now, your husband worked for a bakery after,
For Union Pacific.
no, after he worked at the meatpacking company, he worked for a bakery, then he worked for Union Pacific.
Yeah.
And Abe, what did Abe do when he first came here? Did he work at the, did he,
Dig the street.
he worked in the street department?
And he was lucky, but he got a job.
He was digging ditches
And
for
he was 19 years old. He didn't work in all his life. He got sick. And the doctor says, you quit because you got a goiter. And you quit. So he quit. So what he did after that,
Is that when he went in the bakery business
he
too?
got to,
Then he was in the bakery business,
Yes.
and then later,
he got a
he
grocery.
got a grocery
Wait,
store.
Jonah, I'm sorry, who's Abe?
Abe is my dad's brother. He's little Joe's father.
Okay.
And my aunt died 6 months after Tommy was born in
Yeah,
1949.
And she took Tommy.
Because I remember I brought Tommy to her house, and she just hugged Tommy. She just loved him. And Abe had 4 children. Max, who married Shirley, and they have 4 kids. Joe married Maxine, and they have 3 kids. Kiki married Joni, and they have 4 kids. Yizzy married Sam Cohn, and they have 4 kids.
Okay, now just to get this straight, that's your father's brother and her sister.
We're 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Gotcha, right.
That's why everybody is the same name. That's why there's 2 Rose Kirshenbaums, 2 Joe Kirshenbaums, and 2 Kiwi Kirshenbaums.
Right, okay.
Now, Bobby, I think that's going to be enough unless Kate...
Wait,
But Kate wants to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I can't give you the Timbers.
Wait a minute.
The Timbers.
What's it, Simmons?
Dessert.
Oh, now she's going to give us the...
But wait, first, Bubby, I still don't know what ever happened to the rest of the family that was left in Russia. Do we not know?
She never heard anything. So
Never again after
they
19
They assumed that they were all killed by the Germans.
Oh, okay. You mean just stopped hearing from them after like 1942?
Completely.
I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you when the Bolsheviks started, and the people were very bad. and they killed the Tsar. No, not the Tsar, the owner.
Oh, the owner of the,
So,
on
so,
the ground.
so I told the people, they made a big mistake because they would starve afterwards because they wouldn't fertilize the land and they would do nothing. And that was like that.
In other words-
The cows didn't have nothing to eat.
In other words,
They couldn't fertilize the land,
Right.
and they did nothing to eat. So
Yeah.
they told my sister, if I would be there, they would kneel to my feet and kiss my feet because I told them the truth.
in other words, you told them that they made a mistake killing the man. Menachem, is there something that you or Chaya wanted to ask Mama?
Then I would tell you the end.
Oh, give me the dessert.
The dessert. When I was in California, by Mrs. Wolf, they had a friend up there, Johnson, the Johnsons.
Jones. Colonel
John.
Jones.
And he was a
Colonel.
a
A colonel in the
a
army.
colonel in the army.
In the
One
United
time
States
he
Army.
was on the plane and he saw a girl and he fell in love with her and he married her. She's Jewish and he's a Gentile. They are good friends with the Wolves. When I have to go home tomorrow, I suppose, and I met the lady.
Mrs. Jones.
Miss John's lady. And she told her husband what she met me. And her husband says, he wants to meet you, and I have to go tomorrow home. So he called her before supper. He says, Mrs. Wolf, she says, can I come in for 10 minutes just to meet your
Machatena.
I don't know what.
Your son-in-law's mother.
Your guest. I will just come for 10 minutes, not anymore, because it's before supper. So he came in, he started to talk with me, and I told him the names and all the generals in Europe, because he was in the army and I know all the generals. We started to talk with him. That man was sick 2.5 hours. He didn't eat dinner, they did no dinner, he don't want to go away. He don't want to just talk to me. That general. And
That colonel.
they called the
Yeah.
colonel. And that was the end.
In other words, he enjoyed the stories
Oh,
that
yeah.
she was
He
telling.
enjoyed to talk with me. And I told him everything, how Europe is, and how the generals are there, and the name for everybody. And then how he was in the army, how Ski was in the army. I told him everything. I got what to tell him. He was what you are?
What? In the army as a captain.
In the army, a captain. He was a captain, got his own ship. So I had to tell him something. So not a lie, everything was true. So he was sitting, he didn't eat dinner. She would tell him to eat dinner, but she didn't prepare for him to eat.
The
Right.
same thing is happening now. You're telling us this story and we can't eat dinner now.
It's a dilemma.
But at least now, Kate's kids, their kids, can always look back on this. I'm gonna get a tape made for you, and I'll send it to you, you can give it to your dad. Oh, nobody's giving you a tape, you can't play it.
I
We
knew
can,
what
we
grandchildren.
There's a way to transfer from the
I
two
knew-
methods, no problem.
Menachem.
Menachem, my grandchildren would remember me just as good as my own kids, maybe more, because the grandchildren are taught at Bobby,
Sure.
and they like Bobby, and I'm crazy about my grandchildren.
That's another
Nobody in the world got grandchildren that I. That's the truth, like today's Wednesday over the whole world. Tell me when American kids, when they are born here, and they're educated, and I'm an old-fashioned person, they would like Bobby, they all like Bobby. Why? The kids teach them how to each other. I teach my kids, they should be kids together like this, and thank God my kids teach their kids the same way.
Kate, take this this is a picture of my mother's mother.
Oh, that's your mother's mother.
Yeah, that's Bobby's mother.
Oh, now see, I thought that was your father's mother.
No.
Well, the picture of
The
the man
picture
that
you
you
saw was my grandfather.
Oh, that was, okay. That was your father's father?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Also, you got that picture, then I want you to take a picture of my folks' engagement, picture.
All right.
And this will be the whole,
Oh, that's this picture up here?
yes.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
I'll try to,
No, I'll just leave that.
yeah, that won't hurt, all right. Now, this is Bubby and Zadie, right?
That's right.
When they got engaged. And what?
1913.
1913. Okay. Fini? Okay.
I'll wait till they leave, then I'll have a glass of water.
What do you mean?
They're gonna leave pretty soon.
Oh, they leave with
They're gonna leave.
yeah.
But they wanna visit with you now. I took up all your time.
Sure. Thank you.
I thought there was a way of
Sure.
What?
showing if this,
What do you show it on?
well, it just shows it's in here, but see, I don't know how to run this too good.
Right, right, right.